This afternoon, good afternoon, Ghana. We have two very important conversations to have. The first has to do with what has become very characteristic of the start and the end of Ramadan, which is the fasting for Muslims. It has been engulfed and shrouded in all kinds of confusion and controversy as to when we're supposed to start, when we're supposed to end. As we speak today, some Muslims in Ghana are fasting, some of them are not fasting. And everybody has a reason to actually back why they are not fasting today and why they've decided to fast today. So we intend to get to the bottom of this matter to try and understand. Even our Christian friends have been asking, why can't you guys, because I'm Muslim, I'm a very proud Muslim, but it says, why can't you guys just start, on the same day? I say unanimously. It's been a big issue. And so this afternoon, we'll try and sort of get to the bottom of it with some Islamic clerics who will be joining us in the studio to help us understand the source of that confusion. In the meantime, I have a quick interview. There's a commercial interview that I intend to do. That commercial interview has got to do with a big summit that's coming up. On Wednesday, actually. It's a summit that's been organized by a very, very prominent institution in this country, and I'm talking about the Nobel International Business School. It's organizing a summit, and that summit is actually called the Future Ready Leadership Summit. It's a Future Ready Leadership Summit. We're trying to understand why that particular name and what you need to know and why you need to participate in this particular summit. And so I have Professor Etiong Hene here, who is the founder of this institution. Your microphone is actually off. Oh, sorry, you can put it on. It's actually the microphone is actually on. So he's here to actually tell us more about the importance of this summit and what you need to know and what we're going to be taking away after this conversation is being held. So Professor Kweku Etiong is Etiong Hene Jima is a founder and president of NIBS. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for joining us on Good Afternoon Ghana. It's a pleasure having you.
My pleasure.
You have no idea how keenly people have been following the sort of the momentum that this whole program appears to have gathered. And people can't just wait to listen and to follow how the summit is going to turn out. What is this summit about?
It's about leadership, but a different form of leadership.
Tell us.
Because the discourse about leadership in Ghana has taken many forms.
Okay.
Now, we as a school, we always look for areas of knowledge gap where people may have neglected to speak about.
Right.
And that area, we believe, is future-ready leadership.
Okay.
And that has many definitions, but it's simply defined by way of an example. Now, what leaders actually do in organizations is to look at the viability of the business at the present situation.
Okay.
And at the same time, they are supposed to look after the viability of the business in the future. In other words, you have to run the business, but change the business at the same time.
Right.
And this is a very complex process. And that is what we want to speak about. How do you, as a leader of an organization, cater for the needs of the organization at this moment in time so that you stay competitive, you become profitable, which builds the basis for the future.
Okay.
But at the same time, how do you forecast the future? How do you actually have a peripheral vision to see what is around the corner?
Right.
And you prepare for it today rather than waiting for it to catch up with you. So that's essentially the issue we're going to talk about. And that's an issue that has engaged my attention for a long time. Many years ago, I did research in China on that issue. Right. And that issue simply was about how do organizations balance this conflicting visions or conflicting processes within the organization. In the academic literature, we talk about exploitation. That means making sure that you utilize the current resources to ensure efficiency and effectiveness of the business.
Okay.
But at the same time, you have to explore. Exploring means going into the future, foreseeing what is around the corner, and taking measures to deal with that today so that you don't get caught by surprise. So my research is in this area. In fact, I published a paper on this in 2005.
Okay.
Yeah? And you want to know why that happens. And a lot of times what happens is that business leaders fall into a trap.
Okay.
And the trap is, well, one trap we call the customer trap. And that is, you build your business now to cater for your customers.
Right.
Because we talk about customer-centric. You have to be able to continuously satisfy your customers.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the current customers may one day leave the organization if another competitor comes in with maybe a viable proposition and all
Right.
that. So when you are focused too much on your current customers, you tend to ignore potential future customers. Because what happens is that you're so concerned about the needs of your current customers that they infiltrate, in a sense, the resource allocation system within your organization. So you do what they want to be done, right? And that's what we call the trap.
Right.
So what we hope to discuss here is to help managers recognize this potential problem
Okay.
and be able then to say, what kind of mindset do I need in order to be able to overcome this customer trap, while at the same time running the business to make money now, and then hopefully in the future I'll probably get more business by looking at future customers.
Right.
So there's a balance here. And my research suggests that one of the reasons why leaders fall into this trap is that first, they are scared of cannibalizing their current business.
Yeah.
In other words, the business is going well. Why do you want to kill it?
Right.
It's a human nature, right? It's, intelligent people will decide to maintain what they do today.
Right.
Right? What makes them successful? They'll repeat. They have resource allocation system, bonuses, and all that that encourage the efficiency of doing things that we know what we're doing well today.
Right.
But unfortunately, that kills businesses. You have the example of a famous example, Kodak. Remember Kodak?
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
The same things that they do today that make them successful are the same things that led to their demise.
I get it.
So why do leaders do that?
Right.
One is they fear, the lack of courage to cannibalize what you have today.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Secondly, a lot of leaders have this, what we call the threat rigidity mindset or mental model.
Right.
And that simply means that they look at the current situation in every market situation as a competitive situation.
Right.
So there's a risk, there's a threat. So unfortunately, theory suggests that when you have a threat rigidity mindset, what you tend to do is to actually take measures to overcome the threat.
I noticed that that's very typical of lecturers and professors. Once you dish out all the information on this network, people may not necessarily be motivated to come and listen, because I notice you are already in the groove. You're in the groove. And you're delivering that. You've already started delivering that. We're supposed to come to Mervyn Pick Ambassador will tell you to come and listen. So let's just say that this is just, you can call a foretaste
exactly.
of what to expect.
Yeah, of course.
So does that, based on everything else you've said, does that then explain why you have the theme, the future is here? Where's the leadership?
Absolutely.
And that's what you're asking.
Absolutely.
Another observation I've made is that the leadership theory that you are espousing, for me, that I get the sense, actually applies to corporate leadership.
Yeah.
Where is leadership in other social aspects
It applies everywhere.
Or it applies everywhere,
It applies
not just corporate leadership?
No. It applies everywhere.
All right. So what are we going to see on Wednesday when
what we're going to see on Wednesday,
when the program begins?
Yeah, is a keynote speech by the president of the ECOWAS Bank,
Okay.
Dr. Donko, who is going to have read his speech.
Okay.
And he's going to espouse how he's been able to balance this dilemma that I'm talking about in actually rejuvenating the fortunes of this bank.
Right.
That is first.
That's first, okay.
Yeah. Secondly, we're going to see Sir Sam Jonah speaking about how, throughout his experience as a leader, has been able to develop leaders that think the way we are talking here, that are able to have that balance in terms of their activities for today and for the future.
Okay.
We're going to see leaders talking about governance systems. Okay. How do you improve governance now and create the governance systems for tomorrow? We're going to see talent management. How do you develop talent for today and at the same time develop them for tomorrow? So we have different panels that are going to tackle these questions. And when we have a panel chair give their speech, we have a panel, about 3 or 4 people, that are going to discuss the implications of this and then invite questions from the audience.
Who should be attending this seminar?
Anyone interested in leadership.
Anyone interested in leadership?
Yes, but we have a criteria about who we're going to select because it's free.
Okay.
You just have to apply.
Okay. How do you apply?
You call the number that we've been circulating the number already.
Okay. If you have it, you can speak.
I don't have it here now.
You don't have it here.
But,
okay,
but it's on we've been circulating it over the last few weeks.
That's fine.
So people will call,
Okay.
and then we ask a few questions, and based on that, we'll be able to say, okay, you get a ticket or you don't. Yeah.
That's fine. So it's Wednesday?
Wednesday, starts at 8.
It starts at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
ends at what
finished
time?
at 5.
Finish at 5.
Yeah.
In just a minute, what would I take away from this event when I attend?
You? Yes.
So whoever's attending,
Who is
what would I
ever-
take away? You're hoping the person to take away from
Very good. I think what you'll be taking away will be a good lesson.
Okay.
And the lesson is that leadership is about not only managing what you have today, but the role of a leader really is to take the organization to a prosperous future.
Okay.
And if that's the case, what are the skills and mindsets you need? And those are the ones we're going to discuss.
Wonderful. Prof, I want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure that anybody who is interested in becoming tomorrow's leader, or today or tomorrow's leader, would have to be at this event and learn
Thank
more.
you.
So it's about the Leadership Summit. It's coming off at the Mervyn Peak Ambassador Hotel this Wednesday. And I'm sure Prof will leave us with a number for those of you who may want to call and apply to or express interest in being there, so that you can call that number. Anyway, Prof, once again, thank you.
You. I
Have a
appreciate
great
it.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Anyway, so we're now going to get into our conversation. In fact, our main conversation for today, as I did indicate, every year Muslims seems to be grappling with this issue about when does Ramadan start and when does Ramadan end for the beginning of Eid. And I'm talking about Eid al-Fitr. Now, as we sit, there are some Muslims who are fasting, some Muslims are not fasting. What is it that accounts for this difference in start dates and the end dates? We'll try and get to the bottom of this after this break. Welcome back. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. Good Afternoon Ghana this afternoon is concerned that every single year, Muslims in this country have to battle with this confusion as to when Ramadan actually starts. Now, as I did indicate, some Muslims today are fasting, some will be fasting tomorrow. In fact, there are some people who actually started fasting on Friday, I'm aware. Some decided to fast on Saturday, some decided to fast on Sunday. Some are fasting today and some will start tomorrow. I won't be surprised if some other group starts on Wednesday. And it goes on and on and on and on. Question is, why do we have this perennial or annual confusion or controversy? What is the position of the religion as far as this is concerned? We have invited in the studio the two gentlemen who will be doing justice to this topic. But before that, let me say that if you want to join the conversation, our WhatsApp line is 0244 26 2314. 0244 26 2314. Right. So there are two gentlemen in the studio who would help us understand what the cause of this, what the source of this confusion is. So I have Imam Mustafa Idrisu. He is a lecturer in marketing at the UPSA and also the Imam for, I'm talking about that particular organization, the UPSA. That's Imam Mustafa Idrisu. Assalamu alaikum, Imam. And I want to say a very big thanks for making time to join us this afternoon. We're grateful. Please get the microphone a bit closer to you. Just pull it. No, just yeah, exactly. Get a bit closer to you so that we can hear you much more clearly and audibly. Let me also say that we have in the studio, there's another man who's joined us in the studio. Let me just quickly get his exact name before I say hello to him. Now, this man is called Ustaz Abdul Aziz. Now, Ustaz Abdul Aziz is a former technical member of the Hilal Committee. But what we also understand is that he's very knowledgeable when it comes to matters of sighting the moon. He says It's a very simple thing to do in sighting the moon and declaring whether fasting is starting or is ending. And so he's also join us in the studio. Ustaz Abdulaziz, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
It's good to have you.
Wa
Studio,
barakatuh.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. So, hopefully via Zoom will also be joined by Sheikh Armiyao Shoaib, who is the spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, who has agreed to speak to us in Good Afternoon Ghana. We're hoping that he joins us via Zoom shortly so that he can give us his take on what the position of the National Chief Imam is. And also at some point, we may have to call the chairman of the Hilal Committee. Now, the Hilal Committee, as far as our internal arrangements here is concerned, is a committee that actually officially is supposed to tell Muslims when we're supposed to start Ramadan and when we're supposed to end. And so we'll try and reach them as well to give us their take on this matter. Let me just say that if you want to join us on the show this morning, 0244-262314, 0244-262314. Let me start with Imam Mustafa Idrisu. Imam, so I don't know how concerned and worried you are that every single year we come back to this topic of when Ramadan is supposed to start and when Ramadan is supposed to end, even when Eid is supposed to start. Where is the source of this confusion?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Thank you so much, Moro, for this opportunity. As you indicated, every year we have this confusion. And as far as I know, this confusion is something that is going to linger on until Allah takes his word.
Really?
Yes.
That's serious.
Yes. The confusion is not going to stop.
Why?
Okay. When it comes to the issue of Ramadan, the word Ramadan has been mentioned in the Holy Quran once.
Okay.
شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. That is the only time Allah mentions Ramadan in the Quran.
Right.
Salah has been mentioned severally. Zakat has been mentioned severally. Hajj has been mentioned severally. But even with Salah, people have differences in the way they perform their Salah. When it comes to the sighting of the moon, there are people who believe that you can go with the global sighting. That when people are found to the west and somebody within the west of the globe sees the moon or sights the moon and informs you, you need to fast. That is their belief.
That's one school of thought.
That is one school of thought.
Okay.
And they are believing in that because there is a verse in the Holy Quran that says that Inna haza ummatukum ummata wahida.
Okay.
That you see this your nation, it is one nation.
Okay.
And for that matter, anybody who finds himself along that same stretch is part of the nation.
Okay.
So that is what they believe in.
Right.
And they also argue based on a verse in the Holy Quran that indicates that وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا.
Okay.
And hold fast onto the rope of Allah and do not be divided. So they look at the world and the Ummah as one.
I see.
And for that matter, if Saudi Arabia sights the moon and informs the world that they have sighted the moon, they will fast.
Does that also mean that if the moon was sighted in, say, Paris,
Yes.
I think that should be in the bottom half of the region.
Yes.
And the local imam informs the regional imam, and the regional imam informs the national chief imam that the moon has been sighted. And the national chief imam is actually able to confirm that the moon has been sighted. Saudi Arabians must also start.
Okay.
Is that what that means?
So to Saudi Arabia,
Yes.
they actually believe in their local sighting.
They don't believe in anybody else's sighting.
No.
Yeah, but that then defeats.
The argument. That is why I'm
Exactly.
saying that there is a school of thought. People believe in that. Because, you see, even if any nation within the Gulf area sights the moon and informs Saudi,
They won't start.
would wait to get their own. Even when you take a look at questions that were posed to Sheikh Usaimin and Sheikh Bin Baz.
Who are they?
Sheikh Usaimin was a professor of Islamic religion
Okay.
in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Bin Baz was a professor of Islamic religion in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
These are people who have even given fatwas as far as Islam is concerned.
Okay.
They all tell you that you should do the local sighting.
I see.
They encourage people to do the local sighting.
Okay.
But this is a school of thought that believe that for us, inna haza ummatukum ummata wahida.
Okay.
People who are within this particular community, we are all one. So Saudi Arabia, Ghana, Muslims in the UK, Muslims in Ghana, Muslims in Nigeria, we are all Muslims.
Okay.
And for that matter, if one Muslim sights the moon in another country, it doesn't mean that you should not also you should not also fast.
Okay.
That is their school. That is their belief.
So Sheikh, let me try to understand. Imam, let me try to understand you. What you're saying is that there are two schools of thought.
Yes.
There's a first school of thought that says it doesn't matter which Muslim living in everywhere.
Yeah.
Once the person says that they have sighted the moon,
The moon, yes.
every Muslim living everywhere must follow suit and fast.
And fast, yes.
That's the first school of thought.
Yes.
Okay. What's the second school of thought?
The second school of thoughts is the belief in local sighting,
Okay. Which is opposite the first one.
which is opposite the first one.
Okay.
Now they believe that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us in a hadith, "Sumu li ru'yatihi wa aftiru li ru'yatihi."
That's in the hadith,
In a hadith,
not the Quran.
not even in the Quran.
In the Quran, yes.
In the Quran, it is said that وَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. That anyone who sights the moon or anyone who sees the moon should fast.
Okay.
Now, this particular one people give it different interpretations.
Okay.
Shahida, somebody will tell you that if you are alive to meet that day, fast. Somebody says that Shahida means if you see, fast. That is the interpretation given to this particular one. Now, what is happening is that people believe that you can do your local sighting, and they have genuine reasons why they are saying that you should do your local sighting. Because even during the time of Ibn Abbas, somebody had traveled and had gone to Sham. When he went to Sham, Muawiyah was there. And then they sighted the moon. And they started their fasting. They fasted for 1 month, had their Eid, before the person traveled back to where Ibn Abbas was in Medina. And then when he got back there, we got back there and they were still fasting. And I said, "Are you now still fasting?" They said, "Yes." For us over there, we sighted the moon, we fasted, and we even had our Eid yesterday, and you are now having your Eid today.
See.
And Ibn Abbas told him, "Haza amarana Rasulullah." That is the way Rasulullah taught us. And for that matter, we are not going to follow what Muawiyah and his people have found and do ours. And that is how come a lot of people believe that you should do your local sighting. And even when it comes to the issue of local sighting, what is local? Is it Ghana that is local, or it is Accra that is local,
Or it's where
or
I
it
live,
is where you live that is
which
local?
is local.
So somebody can be in Yendi, and somebody can be in Bimbila. Between Bimbila and Yendi is just about 45 miles.
Right.
The people of Bimbila can say that we have not sighted the moon, and for that matter, we will not fast.
Okay.
Because of local sighting.
Right.
So let's take a look at Hafasini. You go to Hafasini. Hafasini is in Ghana. Just beyond Hafasini is Cote d'Ivoire.
True.
So when the people of Cote d'Ivoire sight the moon and tell the people of Half Assini that they have sighted the moon, does it mean that the people of Half Assini should not fast because they are not in Cote d'Ivoire?
They're closer,
Even though they are closer
to each other, but they haven't sighted it.
they haven't sighted.
So they have no business fasting.
Thank you. So that is where some people have a problem with the local sighting. That we have become local because the British and other colonial masters have decided to divide us.
Yes, we're supposed to be one people.
We're supposed to be one people. But then, the whole thing is that when it comes to Ramadan, if you do local sighting and you fast, you are not wrong because they have genuine reasons.
Okay.
If you also do global sighting and you fast, you are not wrong because they also have genuine reasons. So for me, this argument is a needless argument.
Oh my God. So, okay, so just in case you just tuned in, we're trying to get to the bottom of this, what has become a perennial and annual confusion over Ramadan. I mean, every year, Muslims have to grapple with the issue of when to start fasting, when to end fasting. And even our Christian friends will say, what's wrong? I mean, how come you guys can't do this thing in unison? And sometimes it becomes a bit embarrassing. There are some who it's just for lack of knowledge. Some are also doing it because they have a valid reason. Now, Imam Mustafa Idrisu is the Imam at UPSA. He's a lecturer in marketing. He's been with us this afternoon, or he's with us this afternoon to help educate us as to why we have this confusion. The confusion is historical. Even in the days of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was that challenge. And so it's not something that's going to end, and so we'll have to deal with it till Allah calls all of us. Let me come to Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz, I'm told that you are an expert, more or less, in local sighting. And the reason is, and why this is important is because even here in Ghana, I'm told that it is not it's not that easy, or the chief imam isn't just going to get up and say, fast tomorrow or fast today just because somebody somewhere has called the office of the chief imam and said he or she has sighted the moon. It has to go through a certain process. Tell us, when we say the moon has been sighted, what goes into sighting the moon and how is it done?
Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulullah. Greetings of blessings, mercy, and peace be unto our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mr. Moro, thanks for the opportunity inviting me to the studio to give some explanation. And thanks also to the listeners who are by this time glued to their TV and radio set listening. Alhamdulillah, the sighting of the moon, the confusions that we are having presently comes from somewhere.
Right.
As Muslims, when it comes to the deen, our reference point is the Quran and then the Hadith.
Sure.
And when it comes to the sighting of the moon, Allah has made it clear in the Quran how to begin the month.
Okay.
The sign for you to begin the month. And the various hadith as related to moon sighting or beginning of Ramadan, we all been quoting those verses all the time as to how to go about it.
Right.
It's very clear. Allah created the moon and the sun purposely for timing. And to begin the month, the hilal of the moon have to be sighted. According to Quran chapter 2, verse 185, 187, 189, which has basis related to Ramadan and beginning of the month.
Okay.
Allah made it clear that the beginning of the month, there should be a sign of the moon. That signifies to you that the month has started.
Okay.
With that, aspect of trying to sight the moon, it's very easy for any Muslim all over the globe to sight the moon. But what do we see? Let's take ourselves back to the early 90s, when Muslims have not been recognized here in Ghana as to whatever we do in terms of our Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha in the fasting. But at some point, there was a historic meeting that was held at the Abosokai. That was on January 1995, 14th, I think,
Right.
And then Sheikh Dr. Abdullah Isaka was made the chairman. Molvi, Adam was there. Wahab was there. He was the main, guest. And the whole idea was to come together because, as at that time, if you remember, we were having Eid Fitri at different days.
True.
About 3-4 days continuous.
You're right.
So after that historic meeting, what happened? There was a National Hilal Committee was formed. And that is where we saw unity as to the beginning and ending of Ramadan in Ghana, because the Hilal Committee was working behind the scene to give out the correct starting dating for the Ramadan in Ghana. But the biggest problem that we have and we face has to do with, my brother was mentioning global sighting,
Against
school of
local
thought,
sighting.
and then local sighting. Yes, if it is done properly, there will be no confusion, because the moon sighting, when it comes to the moon sighting, Allah has made it clear in the Quran. We have astronomical verses in the Quran that has to do with the moon. And if you have delved deep into that, you realize that when the moon appears in any part of the world, within 12 hours to 24 hours, all countries will witness that same moon.
Okay.
And because we don't have same daylight hours, in the continual process, each time at your evening, you will also witness the new crescent.
Okay.
But the confusion begins from where? Most people say, I'm following the global sighting. So Saudi said he has sighted the moon. In fact, when that meeting was held, one of the resolutions that came up that time was that we are not making reference to any other country. We will make reference to only Ghana. So with that, it means that within our jurisdiction, that is our geographical location, if it is sited in Wa, if it is sited in Tumu, if it is sited in Bono, anywhere in Ghana, we will accept it. Not that if probably is sited in Accra and those in Takrady, there was rains throughout the day or the night, they didn't see it. It means they won't. But because we are working within our jurisdiction, and that was how it was adopted. With that one, we saw, good, timings as to Muslims coming together. With the various sets that we have, we were all praying Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, with this aspect of sighting the moon. Saudi Arabia, in terms of global sight, people will always make reference to Saudi Arabia. I'm sure for the past 20 or 15 years, your experience is it is only Saudi Arabia who sights the moon first before any other country.
Yeah.
They announces to the whole world that they have sighted the moon.
Yeah.
That should not be the case.
Why?
They have a system of calendar that they use, the Umukura calendar. That is the only Islamic calendar that started, being used since the year 1936.
Okay.
They were having that type of calendar. It is a form of, calculated scientific method that they follow.
Okay.
And it has to do with the moon, the moon's conjunction with the sun.
Okay.
Immediately, the moon gets into conjunction with the sun, and with that one, what I mean is, the moon, according to the Quran, in Surah Yasin, verse 39, Allah says it has given it faces, different faces to, grow to a point and reduce to a point, and then it will enter into darkness.
Okay.
If you make reference to the tafsir, it's there. With the darkness point, that is the point of conjunction. The moon is actually darkened. There is no face on the moon at all. And with that one, according to Surah Al-Rahman, verse 5, in terms of data as to that points of the new moon, it is, guaranteed, it is there. You can get the calculations for the next 1,000 years because it is calculations that comes with the conjunction.
Right.
And when the conjunction happens, it happens in every part of the world at the same instant. For example, Rajab, Shaban ending. We saw the waning crescent, I think, on Wednesday, on Thursday. In the morning after, Fajr, we saw the waning crescent. But the conjunction happens after the 28th phase, which occurred on Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
At our local time, 9 a.m.
Right.
That same time, it is 12 p.m. in Saudi.
Okay.
They have a method with the Umukura calendar. They use the conjunction to determine the first day of the month according to the Umukura calendar system.
Okay.
You check their website, they will tell you that the Umukura calendar is not for Ibadah, but purposely is for admin purposes, for their kingdom, their social planning, government planning, they use it.
It's for social and administrative work.
When it comes
not
to
for
Ibadah,
religious.
no, because the beginning point of the month, according to the Quran, is the Hilal, the appearance of the Hilal, for you to sight it. In fact, some scholars would tell you with the naked eyes. Because I've been saying, most people have been saying, Saudi uses telescope, so they can see before any other country. It's not true.
Oh, really?
Exactly. Let me give you one example.
Before you give us the example, I understand that we need to take a break. When we come back, we're having a very interesting conversation. The man who's talking is giving us some education and sharing knowledge about how to sight the moon. And for me, what is interesting is that when we see the Saudi guys with all this huge technology, telescope or whatever it is, they say they're sighting the moon. They say it's not true, and that you don't need all those technology, all those gadgets to be able to find it. I'll take a short break. When I come back, I'll come back to him. Right, welcome back. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Audu Moro. This afternoon we are tackling this perennial or annual confusion over the start and the end date of Ramadan. As I did indicate, a lot of Muslims or some Muslims tend to struggle in actually, answering the question, when am I starting Ramadan? And so we decided to invite some Islamic scholars here to help us appreciate why there's this division. Some actually started as far back as Friday, some started on Saturday, some Sunday, today, tomorrow, some will also fast. What exactly is happening? And so I have Ustaz Abdulaziz who's here, who is a scholar when it comes to moon sighting, almost like an expert in that area. And also I have Imam Mustafa Idrisu, who is the Imam of UPSA, University of Professional Studies here in Accra, who are helping us navigate this very tricky and very interesting topic. Anyway, so Ustaz, you're talking to me about, you're saying that when we see these pictures of the Saudi officials standing behind some huge telescope and they're telling you that they've sighted the moon somewhere, it is not true. You're giving us an example.
Or most countries, Pakistan, India, Iran, they all have telescopes that they use to try to see if.
Right.
And one thing that we have to notice is that telescope is a visual aid. It's an aid to help you to see what is there. If there's nothing there, you won't see anything.
Absolutely.
And according to astronomical science, if the moon goes into conjunction, that is, it gets darkened. After the faces is emptied, it's dark around. It takes almost 24 hours before the hilal that we are supposed to be seeing in the evening will come out for you to see.
Okay.
So as at yesterday was when Sunday.
Yeah, yesterday's Sunday.
Yes. The conjunction of the moon was in the morning.
Okay.
Our morning time, 9 a.m. But with Saudi Arabia, it will be their time, 12 p.m.
Okay.
You just add or subtract in terms of time difference. In the other country, that will be their time of conjunction.
Okay.
And for you to sight the hilal, it depends on your sunset time. From the time that the conjunction occurred, which is an instant when it happens all over the world, it has happened. Their sunset time in Saudi yesterday was around 6:28 p.m. That will be Ghana time, 3:28 p.m. Their time, 6:28. The sun was setting. The conjunction got into that point, their time, 12 p.m. By the time of their sunset, the moon age was around 6 hours. So the method that they follow, like I said, on the Qura calendar, they will tell you if on the 29th day on the Qura calendar, it happens that the conjunction happens to occur, which occurred yesterday for them.
Okay.
One of the conditions has come to pass.
I see.
It occurred before their sunset, so one of the conditions have come to pass.
I see.
The second condition is if on that same 29th in Saudi Arabia is within their geographical location, they are not talking or making that calendar for the whole world, but people thought that once it is a lunar calendar, and we Muslims, we use lunar as our counting system. Most people blindly follow that type of calendar system. But the second method is on that Sunday, the sun was setting before the moon, meaning that at the time of sunset, the moon was still above their horizon. Mm-hmm. The moon was above their horizon, and the moon was setting around 6:41 p.m.
Barely, Saudi time, yes, local time.
Saudi local time.
Okay.
Barely just 30 minutes after the sun has set.
Yes.
And when it comes to the sighting of the hilal, we have so many variables that we use to determine scientifically whether the moon will be sighted or not. And yesterday, even from their own citizen astronomer told them that it will be impossible for them to sight the New Crescent.
Really?
They told them. I was monitoring them yesterday. In fact, I posted that information on the
platform.
The platform, and people read it. People saw it. We were watching live videos. The place was stormy, windy. In fact, no clear weather.
So, Ustaz, is that to suggest that even in Saudi Arabia today, as we speak, it is not everybody who is fasting?
Probably, because I have a friend in Saudi. He told me after Maghrib, they told them they haven't sighted in the moon.
Really?
Yes. After some few minutes, they were broadcasting those flyers that normally we see on the social media.
Have been sighted and so on.
And it engulfed everywhere. So the second method, like I was saying, the sun was setting before the moon. So with that method, with that criteria, automatically you will see that if you have reference to the Qura, Ramadan first is on March 11th. That timing of the Ramadan March 11th has been in circulation 3 months earlier before even we came to Rajab.
Okay.
So it is a pre-calculated something. If that is the way to go, we don't need even to go out and look for the moon again because it has been calculated already.
Your point is that the methodology or the system that Saudi Arabia operates with when it comes to their calendar, they would have started a fasting yesterday, regardless of whether they had sighted the moon or not.
According to their Qura calendar,
according to their calendar,
them that today is first day of Ramadan.
Okay, that's fine. So, and that's why they will start.
Yes.
So anybody who thinks that Saudi Arabia is starting because they have sighted the moon may be wrong. It may be misleading.
The issue is the sign for you to begin the month according to the Quran
is the sighting
is for the hilal to appear.
Yes.
To form for you to appear. So if the hilal hasn't formed.
So why are you fasting?
Why are you fasting?
I get
Our
that.
prophet told us 29 days. Saudi was counting 29 yesterday.
Yes.
We were counting 28 yesterday.
Yes.
Due to the fact that Rajab ending on February 10th on Saturday, we didn't see the New Crescent.
I agree with you. I get that. I get what you're saying. Unfortunately, I'm enjoying what you're saying, but time is not our best ally, and so we'll have to wrap this up as quickly as possible. We have just 2 minutes. Sheikh, regardless of everything else he has said, we still have situations where people are fasting on Friday. People are fasting on Saturday.
Yes.
How do you explain that?
Okay, so there are also a group of people who use what we call the Natijat al-Ama.
What's that?
It's a calendar that they also prepare.
See.
So the Omukura calendar is there. There are people in Ghana who use what is called the Natija.
And
with the Natija, per their calendar, they calculate it in such a way that if 1 month, if let's say Shaban ends on the 29th,
okay,
Ramadan will be 30.
Right.
Then Shawwal will be 29.
Okay, so it's 29, 30.
Yes, 29, 30, 29, 30,
yes.
29, 30.
Yes.
But they forget of the fact that sometimes both Shaban and Ramadan can end on 30.
I get that. But here's the thing. Here's my confusion or my dilemma. If Islam says fast upon sighting the moon, where's from all this issue about calendar?
You see,
I mean, this whole thing is supposed to be driven by the sighting of the moon. Simplicity.
Yes.
So where from this I have my calendar, this is our calendar. What's that?
See, the religion is a religion of knowledge.
Not emotions.
Islam is a religion of knowledge. And I always tell people that after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had created everything, and before he created Sayyidina Adam, he created knowledge.
Imam, unfortunately, we've run out of time. We've just a minute. Imam, pray for us. Just 30 seconds. So Allah will accept our ibadah. Because I'm fasting tomorrow. I didn't fast today. I know Imam fasted today. But I hope Allah will accept mine.
Inshallah.
I'm following the chief Imam.
We all follow the chief imam.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, I have never heard the chief imam say that they have sighted the moon in Saudi Arabia, and for that matter,
no, he
has never done that.
Yes. Until he sights it,
the moon in Ghana.
within his locality.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Imam. So just some 30 seconds prayer so that we can leave. Tornado is waiting.
May Allah accept our ibadah.
Amen.
The blessings of this month, may Allah let it be with us.
Amen.
The rahmah of this month, may Allah let it be with us.
Amen.
The forgiveness in this month, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it be with us.
Amen.
May Allah make us begin the month of Ramadan peacefully and end it peacefully. May Allah accept our ibadat. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect Ghana with this month. May Allah protect our national chief imam. May Allah protect all our ulama and protect all Muslims who are doing the fasting with us, inshallah.
I see. Imam, just before you go, and just a quick one, just 30 seconds. Somebody wants me to ask you, if I started with Saudi Arabia, then it means I must end with Saudi Arabia.
That is it.
If I start with the chief imam, I end with the
You
chief
end
imam.
with the chief
I can't do chief imam
Saudi Arabia.
or Saudi
You should
chief
be
imam.
consistent.
Consistent.
You should be consistent.
Thank you very much, Imam. Thank you very much. I want to say a big thanks for all of you who made time to watch the show. I hope that has been a very useful conversation. My name is Aldo Moro. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.